The train went steaming down the tracks, though nothing bellowed from the stack above where the fire should have been. As nothing was there, it simply rattled on down the rickety tracks toward a lowly destination. This was the train of the reanimated, whose very existence was denied by the lonesome doubt and the reigning fact within all of them that they would never again have a home. It pulled into the station at the world's end, and I alone vacated the car. The car filled with cobwebs and swollen shadows of 1,000 people before me that laid their hands down upon these seats without a journal or a friend to hold their hand. There was nothing to describe themselves to as they journeyed into the distant land of the unknown, wherein the ancient farmer and the immortals, the field of dreams, and the thousands of martyrs and the corpses of all those that Valkyrie had risen back from the dead, and Lilith, the vampire queen, had touched. They were no longer zombies. There was something more. They were lich, they were revenants. There was something beyond the grasp of the normal undead. Their souls had come back, and they were more than simply mobile corpses. I looked around as I sat there for 1,000 nights. It seemed I was always surrounded by darkness. I couldn't see outside the train except for a gray forest at twilight under a full moon. Though the shouts, the clouds up above, they hindered it. There was no light, save for patches of beautiful midnight. And the forest was thick with fauna and underbrush, and therein ran the werewolves and lichen from demons. And beside them were their kin, and all of those who were betrayed into the darkness by humanity for the fear of what they did not understand. The unknown entities who lived just like they did for love in the trinity of themselves and humankind. Peace would never find, for humanity had pushed everyone back, all the immortals and all of the undead, to a small island in the hills and the highlands. But we still gathered with the promise of music and some of ale, for therein we found a measure of unity in the security of a distant countryside, where no mounted men were ever seen nor heard. No human beings ever witnessed a sea of 250,000 immortals, from lich-born reanimated soul corpses to vampires and Valkyrie, to angels known as elves, as they explain themselves to be throughout our history. The expansive music resonated about the surround, and the expanse of the valley floor was filled with tents. The monikers therein were filled with stages, with feats of strength and bars, a home away from what we would never call home again. This littered the valley floor. One large orange and white tent was filled with dancing elves, twisting their long sensual legs between drunken dwarves, who did their best to attempt to stagger on the dance floor as they stuttered, spilling their beer and ale from large mugs, whilst their eyes were averted up to the end of the elf skirts' dresses. Others in the darkness of the demons would sit meditating amidst the algorithm music of a brown tent like monks, a beautiful carpet brought the silence of the world. At the end, wherein it was scrapped long ago, before humanity had come to rule the world. This is the tale of a reanimated corpse. This is rattle and frame when the world's over. This is the chest that Juton did after being raped, gave the Morse code to her lover of fate, this tale comes next, so stand back and wait for it, because the beauty of this moment is to behold art or imagination. Let it always ring true. Find the beauty and the majestic peace between you and everyone, because therein, in that silence, you'll be free. There won't be any anxiety or discomfort. There will be peace and the grand serenity of being content in that moment daily to live. This is how I feel as I rattle on down the tracks after the aftermath of passing by that beautiful event. For therein was a dream. We didn't stop, and I never exited that cobweb, darkly shrouded car on the train that rattled down the tracks. This is the attempt of a mere mobile corpse whose soul has found its way back to find a home in a new world, so changed, so different from the last war that ended 100 years ago or more. And I can't forget, nor can I remember how it ended. Only there that I live now, in this very moment, on this crickety old train, surrounded by cobwebs, on a seat of orange, surrounded by oak. And the drapes that cover the lining of the windows from the main hall, they are white and stained with dust. Oh, 1,000 corpses just like me. And the souls of the entities of the ethereal beings, the revenants, the ghosts, the vampires, the Valkyrie, the demons and angels, dwarves undead, rattle down this track 1,000 years for 10,000 miles before me.